traveling abroad and learning how other people live and sampling how they live their life is expansive. It expands my knowledge. It expands my potential to be a healthier version of me. It forces me to continue working on my body so I can go climb that mountain or hike that trail or swim in that ocean, because I want the second half of life to be the most beautiful part that I've yet to experience.
Hello and welcome to Soul via Soul. I'm your host, Jada, and this is a show where we will help you navigate your midlife awakening with inner child healing and holistic health tools from a therapist and physician assistant so you can create a life that you love and one that loves you back. Your dreamy second half of life. From nervous system regulation to techniques to healing your inner child, I've got it all covered. So let's dive into the show.
So let's talk about life as a digital nomad. So it's now been 6 weeks approximately since my husband and I sold everything and are now living a digital nomad life. Now it's funny because my kids say to me, "Mom, that's what our generation is doing. What are you doing?" And I have to say that there were some people who questioned if we were actually having a midlife crisis when we decided to sell everything. That's a bold move, I will say. And it's not for everyone, I'll say that too. But what we discovered is that we had gotten to a place in our life, and maybe this will resonate with you, where you just felt like there was something that was missing. I had everything that anyone could want that would make them feel happy and content, loving relationships, nice house, I have my health, friends, family, like all the things, right? You have all the trappings of what success feels like. And there may be some of you listening who are like, yeah, like I feel like I've got all those things and yet I'm still not fulfilled. And there have been times in my life that this feeling felt similar. There have been times in my life where I had awakenings that were earlier. And several people have reached out and said, "Jada, I am actually in my 20s. I'm in my 30s. I think I'm having a midlife awakening. Is this possible?" Yes. So a few people have coined this a quarter life awakening, and I can see where that would happen too. I would say that knowing that every 7 to 10 years we seem to have these major milestones that we accomplish in our life, and different developmental times that we go through, right? Like as a therapist, I can see how that would happen. But there have been times, and there are many times, where we kind of rise up and pull our head up and go, wait a second, is there more to life? Because I'm feeling like I missed the memo. Where is it that I wake up every day filled with love and joy and contentment and adventure, like I used to do when I was a child? Remember her? Remember those times, especially in the summer, you'd wake up and every day was just like, wow, what's going to happen now? You get on your bicycle, I would ride to the candy store, and, life was simple and it was easy and it was adventure filled. And oddly enough, it's when we get to middle age that we often have that same sort of pull our head up and look around and go, wait, is there more? Because now I'm on the scary side of the hill. Like I'm on the other side. In our 20s and our 30s, we think, okay, we've got all this time in the world to accomplish X, Y, or Z. And then sometimes we get to midlife and we go, whoa, hang on a second. Time is moving really fast. And I'm not quite ready to say this is it. And that's kind of what it felt like. There was this yearning for all of a sudden, is there more? And I'm going to just go out and grab life by the tail. And the scary part of doing that was that I had to let go of all the comforts that were making me feel safe. Because when we feel safe, we don't do scary things. When we feel safe, that's a feeling that our brains like. Our brains are hardwired to keep us safe. So when we don't feel safe, we feel often there's a lack of control. And if we don't feel in control, then that can bump up against all kinds of triggers and fears. And yet it's the very act of letting go that we open ourselves up to receive. And it was literally letting go of everything that we own, with the exception of a couple bikes that are in storage and what we could cram into a suitcase, that we are now starting our midlife awakening adventure. And I ran into someone today, and she made the comment to me and my husband, "You guys look so happy." And that's the best thing anyone could say to us, because that was the whole point of doing this. The whole point of shedding ourselves of all of our earthly belongings and stepping into this very uncomfortable space initially was to grab the best of life that it has to offer and see and explore things that we haven't seen or explored. To know that the second half of life can actually be really filled with adventure and fun and be better than the first half. And that can be scary to a lot of people because we are comforted by our possessions. We feel safe when we're surrounded by things that are familiar. And to knowingly let go of all those creature comforts and to be what feels like a seed tossed around in the wind, traveling from point A to point B, is scary to many people. I get that. And yet the more people I talk to, the more I get the sense that that's what they would crave to do, that freedom. And another big reason why we chose to do this, really in thinking about midlife, is that there's so much to see and do and explore. And I've always been a country mouse. I grew up in the country, and to live in a big city is completely out of my element. And I'm learning so many things about people, about myself, about humanity. I'm being opened in ways that I didn't even know I was closed. And that's a beautiful thing, to expose myself to all sorts of opportunities and experiences that I would have never chosen, has been one of the greatest blessings of doing this. So what is it about our possessions, our things that make us feel safe? And what would it be to actually let go of some of the things that you have in your life? What would that look like if you were to say, I'm going to remove certain parts of my life, certain things, to make room for more people, to make room for more experiences, to really seek what it is to wake up every day filled with wonderment and joy? Not that you have to let go of everything and sell everything like we did. It's a bold move. I get that. However, what it has given us is the ability to really create a life where we feel like it is filled with the things that give us more opportunities for wellness, more time to exercise, more time to invest in quality foods, more time to really ask those big questions. What fills us up? What lights us with joy? How do we create a life that we love and one that loves us back? And that's filled with deep meaning, deep relationships, things that actually bring us joy. So I've learned a few things. I've learned that I don't need a lot to be happy. I've learned that things are things. And if you lose a thing, you can buy a new thing. But you can't buy new people or experiences. And having that be a part of our now life every day is one of the greatest blessings. And also, it's about seeking wellness. Unfortunately, there are things in the United States about food quality and obviously the political environment that's a little dicey. The cost of housing and healthcare, those are big considerations. And traveling abroad and learning how other people live and sampling how they live their life is expansive. It expands my knowledge. It expands my potential to be a healthier version of me. It forces me to continue working on my body so I can go climb that mountain or hike that trail or swim in that ocean, because I want the second half of life to be the most beautiful part that I've yet to experience. So whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, or beyond, what is it that we're hanging on to in your life? What is it that you're hanging on to that perhaps could be replaced with an experience or a deepening relationship with yourself or with others? And what would it look like to peel back the layers of the things that you're afraid to do and to give yourself permission to grab life by the tail and seek that adventure and become like the child again, with wonderment and excitement to each day? Oddly, when we do inner child healing, we return to that inner child part of us. We return to the part of us that already knows all these things. When we allow ourselves, especially if you've got those unhealed traumas that are keeping you stuck or keeping you in unhealthy patterns and stuck in fear in your life, when you do the healing, you realize that you are worth having the greatest life you could ever imagine. You are worthy. We're all worthy. And sometimes we have to peel back the layers, do the hard work of healing those childhood wounds so that we can become like the child again and embrace life with the wonderment and joy that's inside all of us.
Thank you for joining me today on another episode of Soul via Soul. If anything resonated with you, share it with your friends on Instagram and give me a 5-star review. I really appreciate you being here. And until next time, I'll see you on the next episode.